Stevens, back to our conversation earlier, we have this rate increase request that varies extremely broadly. It's astronomical, the percentage differences. And one thing that occurs to me, is there any correlation between the states that expanded Medicaid and those that didn't on these rate request sheets?
I mean, that question came up earlier this morning, and I jotted it down, so I want to have time to look at that for you all. It appears if you look at the rate increases there, that most of those, the rates were the states that have expansion are lower than the ones that don't. That's just my only first observation. That list, we were asked by the chair. I mean, I thought it was a great question to look at all the different states. This is the only source that we could find that had them all collated for you in such a short time. It was only a couple of days ago. But I would like time to look at it and come back to you with, a good analysis of whether that's what we're seeing. But it does appear that way at first blush.
Thank you.
Senator Chesterfield, you recognize.
Thank you. With Arkansas, there is to me another option. If Arkansas chooses to get away from the private option and move to direct payments for Medicaid, would the cost be as high for the state of Arkansas?
I mean, again, I would want to look at that, but I would tell you, just knowing your Medicaid rates, I would think it would be lower because of the rates, and there's probably ample flexibility to do care coordination and other things. But in our report, as you remember, our October report, we talked about, the private plans not having the incentives that Senator Hendren's talking about, and there's no real outreach for coordination in that, and that's not part of the way the plans operate. So,
So our decision to move to the private option fund has put our providers, such as Blue Cross Blue Shield, in a position where they're losing money. Or am I misunderstanding?
Well, I mean, I think you had two issues. You had your uncompensated care issue. So you move them into traditional Medicaid, now your uncompensated care issue goes up in a much bigger way than you want, and that's going to be a problem. And so, as far as the rate increases, I think what you're seeing here is a result of, and I think it was the commissioner that said, hopefully that's going to taper off. It's a result of the populations that are not used to care coordinate, not used to even visiting a primary care doc, doing diabetes intervention, doing the things that are needed at this time to save costs.
And it would seem to me that one of the things we could be doing with our hospitals is directing folks from the emergency room to primary care physicians, which I'm not sure we're doing as well as we need to. Are you seeing that trending down?
Well, actually, we're looking at that right now to see what the 15 data tells us. The 14 data clearly told us there was an issue. And I know that Director Gillespie, I spoke to her about this last week, and that's a concern that she has. And it's one that she'll probably want to continue to have dialogue with you and the plans.
Because people go to where they're accustomed to going. And if I've been sick in the past, and I've always used the emergency room, I know all of us know about the Affordable Care Act, but those folks who use those services don't. And so they go to a provider with which they are familiar. And that drives cost.
Well, I agree, Senator. Senator Hendren's point is well taken, and we said this in our report. The states, including Arkansas, CMS should be giving the states flexibility to determine that when that happens, that we can say, no, we're not providing care in the emergency room, and you're going to need to see a primary care doctor, we'll set it up, or we will provide the care, but you're going to pay X for a copay. And there's nothing like that. And so there's no incentive to even be flexible. And I'm not saying that has to be punitive in any way, shape, or form that you want to control that in your own state. You don't have a lot of wiggle room is what I'm saying.
The thing that would trouble me is if you sent them away and there is no primary care physician in that area, which is also a problem in Arkansas. But if a person goes into the emergency room, give them the care, and then direct them
You can do
someplace
that.
else.
You can do that way as well.
Are we doing that? Are we seeing any data that shows us what we're doing? Because I've seen a young man walk into the same doctor's office with me and he had no health insurance, and they did not not sign him up immediately for the Affordable Care Act. And you know, you want to be careful about being nosy and say, baby, come over here, let me show you where you can go and get some health insurance, which is also driving up cost. So I'm just saying, the information is not being given, in my view, to folks that need the information. Information is just as much a part of this as anything. And ignorance of what is available is also one of the drivers in this conversation that we're talking about. Because if I don't know that's where I'm supposed to go, I just go where I've always been.
I agree, and there's no incentive. That person that you just described ends up coming back to the emergency room the next month because they don't care. They're just gonna get the care that they need.
Unless the hospital is penalized. I don't want that to happen.
And if they're gonna
Or unless they are given an incentive, let me not say penalized. The hospitals are incentivized to send them to a primary care facility.
Yes, and the
And
problem
do we
is,
have that influence?
the problem is as soon as you go down that road, there are gonna be rules that CMS will come back and tell you, you violated this rule and that rule. There is no flexibility at all within the current system. That's the problem.
Do
And
we
the
ask
states,
for a waiver on that map?
you can't, yeah, I suppose you could look into it. But I know Director Gillespie is actually very mindful of what your question is, and I know she's looking into this right now with the plans.
I just want to make sure that we're all clear that this is not the first time these issues have come up. This is not new news. We've gone through this since 2013, and Washington has said no to any types of restrictions. Now, it is possible that one of the 75 that we've tried were all the wrong ones, and that there's a magical 76th option out there that no one thought of yet, but they've been rejected. And it's not an accident, it's not incidental, it's a different mindset about what healthcare is. So as we're looking at this massive problem, which is a train wreck getting ready to happen, about the gap between facing the reality of our choices, I just want to make sure that as a group, we understand that we need to go to CMS, and the one thing they have not said no to, that I'm aware of, is let us charge more money, and you guys pay it. That's the one thing they've not said no to that I'm aware of. So if we haven't asked for that one yet, somebody needs to get on a horse and ask, in my view.
Representative Hammer, do you recognize?
Thank you, Mr. Chair.